I think it just comes down to mainly experience and just like how long I've been playing. It's not my first rodeo that I've been like in solo queue or in LCS or in scrims that you get screwed over early game just because they planned their objective around it. And sometimes you just have to sacrifice for the team and then try to be as positive as you can. And then it's also the other people's job to like re-acknowledge you that like it's fine, like we can just wait for you at 6 and then we can make the play. And yeah, it's like a team effort to like just be positive and just try to plan for the next play.
This is Zento from Esports Heaven, and I have here with me Xmithie from Team Liquid, and you guys just beat FlyQuest in a pretty entertaining game. But I wanted to ask you about the pressure topside, because the game seemed to be revolving around topside itself, especially with Impact doing that outplay. So was that part of the game plan to at least just keep him alive for the laning phase?
Yeah, I think GP is like pretty much priority in the game, is like mainly early game is just to survive, because once GP gets like 1 or 2 items like first, usually because it's GP, yeah, it just keeps going. And then usually like prioritizing top lane is not our main priority, but it just like happens like how the pathing goes, because usually the crabs are reported obviously, and then whoever gets a crab usually goes to that side for a little bit, and then yeah, it just like naturally went to top side and then to mid. And I think the first gank was like we just got a flash, and I think after that yeah, just Impact just outplayed them 1v3, and somehow like we got really lucky, and then Eugene solo kill, and then we kind of snowballed from there. But there's some unforeseen like circumstances in the mid game that we kind of screwed over.
So the mid game, especially with the Baron, after pretty much everybody died except Impact and Doublelift. So Doublelift had pushed the mid wave, and then they decided to defend Baron. So what was the call, I guess? What were the comms like when that was happening? Because they decided to not try and go for the mid inhibitor. So they thought they could defend Baron and maybe stop Baron, right?
I think it was kind of too late actually to go for the mid turret, because they're just gonna back. Yeah, it was just like a big mistake from like us as a team that we got wiped. Three of us got wiped, and then they had to defend. And yeah, like it was just like a big mistake from us. A lot of misplays, and thank God we won a random team fight after that, and then we somehow won the game. So.
Okay, well, it seems as though Team Liquid is doing a bit better now that the meta has stabilized for more ADCs to be bot lane. So do you think this is kind of a buff for Team Liquid more than any other team as far as that's concerned?
I think you guys can see like due to our match results, like playing non-AD bottom lanes, like we don't really have a good track record. So yeah, I think it's a good buff for us. Peter is really more comfortable on AD carries than anything else. So yeah, like yeah, like you said, the meta has been stabilized, and there's gonna be next patch. We're playing on next patch, and yeah, we're gonna practice on it in this week.
Yeah, I mean the ADC itemization looks pretty good with the IE buffs.
It's like back to before, but a little more buff, because like Zeal items got cheaper too, or the upgraded items of Zeal.
Yeah, and the recipe got changed for IE, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good too. I think Yasuo might be back just because like it's much cheaper, but we'll see. We'll see for this week.
So no one got subbed out on Team Liquid's roster, and during the beginning of the split, everyone was kind of subbing out and trying different players because of the whole mage bot lane thing. So with that said, it seems as though Team Liquid has kind of refused to do that, and some other teams may have subbed people out because of like internal problems or just personality clash, but also performance as well too. So is it just that all you guys are clicking well together and there's not any big performance glaring problems within the entire Team Liquid roster, or is it just because your academy team is not ready to really step up to the LCS stage?
I think it's a matter of preference, to be honest, and also like the roles of each other is like the roles of the players. Like for Peter, he's like really vocal, and then like stepping up for maybe our like either Insanity or Shoryu, for example, like from our academy team. Like they might not fit that role, and then we have to change the whole dynamic of the team after that. So we were just like thinking that it's much safer to just like try new champions and like try to adapt to the meta rather than just like changing players, because in the long run maybe we don't know what Riot would have done, like to maybe buff more mage bot lanes or like bring AD carry back. So I think it was just a safer bet for us to just have double lift, just like practice these new champions and have the same roles as each other.
Yeah, I mean, because it seemed as though that would be a dangerous game for an organization to play if you suspect that ADCs are going to be meta again, and so you're just like, all right, you could keep practicing ADCs or whatever. We'll bring in this other person that's practicing something entirely different, and then once it switches back, we'll have you come back in.
Yeah, I think that's what Fnatic is doing right now, and then so far it's still been repo. So yeah, like it's a feel bad for the one who gets subbed out, because I don't think Reckless really wants this. So.
Yeah. So, speaking to your game yesterday and how things went, absolutely insane for you. You're now known as this untiltable player, and people have just started realizing this, especially after that game, that you were able to keep your cool, and you were still level 1 by 3 minutes.
4. 4.
So even worse than I thought. Yeah. So how do you keep your cool in something like that? Because that's like an FF at that point.
I think it just comes down to mainly experience and just like how long I've been playing. It's not my first rodeo that I've been like in solo queue or in LCS or in scrims that you get screwed over early game just because they planned their objective around it. And sometimes you just have to sacrifice for the team and then try to be as positive as you can. And then it's also the other people's job to like re-acknowledge you that like it's fine, like we can just wait for you at 6 and then we can make the play. And yeah, it's like a team effort to like just be positive and just try to plan for the next play. I think it's the same thing as like either losing a team fight or losing a dragon fight.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just gonna be the same mentality that you should have.
Okay, so what's on Team Liquid's radar now? Like, what team do you think is gunning for you now that you're in first place and the meta has somewhat changed to where ADCs are now back in play? So what team are you most concerned about?
What team I'm worried about the most is, I guess, just the most aggressive team, since like I think right now it's Echo Fox, because usually those teams are like kind of like you can't really predict what they do, and they usually are really good at a certain area and then they usually focus around it. So they have a really good early game, and then they usually play with Huni, and usually Huni plays like some random like top laner that counters the other champion, but is not really good in team fighting.
Yeah.
But just like really good at splishing, for example. And yeah, that's the only thing that we should worry about. It's just like we can't really practice against it unless like we're scrimming them or like other team plays like that. But there's not really a team that like has like an aggressive top laner and like a really good jungler to back it up. So yeah, I guess like we just can't practice around it unless we play them.
Okay, so aggressive teams. I like that. All right, well, that's all I really have for you. This has been Azento from Esports Heaven and Xmithie from Team Liquid. Thank you.
Bye.
I assume if you made it this far, you probably enjoyed the content. So if you did, subscribe and also check out my other content that's more analytical and opinionated. But otherwise, keep it locked at esportsheaven.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.